9 minutes ago, Voyager 1 just sent a terrifying warning from space. The Voyager missions have expanded our understanding of the universe's energy and radiation by providing a glimpse into previously undiscovered regions of space. But recently, Voyager 1 has just sent out some terrifying message that has startled everyone. So what exactly is this unsettling message? Join us on Science Discovery as we discuss it further. Voyager 1, a robotic U.S. interplanetary spacecraft that went to Jupiter and Saturn, was the first spacecraft to reach interstellar space and was launched in 1977. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 were sent out on the same mission. The twin spacecraft mission took advantage of a rare alignment of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, which made it possible to visit several planets in a short amount of time and with little fuel. The alignment made it possible for each spacecraft to use its fall into a planet's gravitational field to speed up and change its direction enough to reach its next destination. Voyager 2 was the first to be sent into space on August 20th, 1977. Voyager 1 was sent into space about 2 weeks later on September 5th. Using this gravity assist or slingshot method, Voyager 1 passed by Jupiter on March 5, 1979, and then headed for Saturn, which it reached on November 12, 1980. Then, it changed its path so that it would leave the solar system. After going to Jupiter and Saturn, Voyager 2 went to Uranus and Neptune. Data and pictures taken by the Voyager's cameras, magnetometers, and other instruments showed things about the giant planets and their moons that had not been known before. For example, the spacecraft took close-up pictures of Jupiter's clouds, winds, and storm systems. It also found a ring around Jupiter and volcanic activity on one of its moons, Io, which is the first place for volcanoes to be seen beyond Earth. Saturn's rings were found to have braids and kinks that didn't make sense, as well as a lot of small loops called ringlets. On February 17, 1998, Voyager 1 passed the space probe Pioneer 10, which had been sent into space in 1972, to become the most faraway object made by people. By 2004, both Voyagers had left Pluto's orbit by a long way. In 2012, the Voyagers became the spacecraft that had been working the longest. Even though Voyager 1 has been in space for 45 years and is over 14 billion miles from Earth, it's still finding new things. Scientists say that the spacecraft has picked up the faint hum of interstellar space, which sounds like soft rain. Since Voyager 1's launch, plasma has been a part of its mission. The spacecraft found lightning strikes in Jupiter's atmosphere and studied how the solar wind slowed down in the outer solar system. Since 2012, scientists have been using the spacecraft's instruments to look at a part of space that has never been seen before. That's when Voyager 1 crossed the heliopause, the point where the solar wind, the constant flow of charged particles coming from the sun, is no longer strong enough to hold back the interstellar medium that surrounds our little neighborhood. Since 2012, as Voyager 1 has moved farther away from the sun, the plasma around it has been measured. Most of the time, this part of the space between the stars is quiet. Stella Koch-Acker, a doctoral student at Cornell University who led the new research, said in a statement, "It's very faint and monotone because it's in a narrow frequency bandwidth. We can hear the faint steady hum of gas between the stars." But the solar wind pushes back every few years. These things are picked up by Voyager 1 as shock waves. In the same statement, Cornell astronomer and senior author James Cordes said, "It's like noticing a burst of lightning during a thunderstorm. Then it'll start raining softly again." Scientists once thought that those shocks were the only way Voyager 1 could find out how dense the plasma is out there. But now that scientists have heard this strange hum, they can track the interstellar medium between shocks. This will help them learn a lot more about a large part of space that hasn't been found yet. Acker thinks that there is a lot more low-level activity in space between stars than scientists used to think. Shami Chatterjee, an astronomer at Cornell, said in the same statement, "Now we know that we don't need a lucky thing to happen with the sun to measure interstellar plasma. Voyager sends back information no matter what the sun is doing. The ship is saying, this is the amount of matter I'm swimming through right now, and now it's here, and now it's here, and now it's here." Voyager's very far away and will keep doing this over and over. Voyager 1 and its identical twin, Voyager 2, will travel to the stars for all time. But scientists on Earth know that the spacecraft's time on Earth is coming to an end. The spaceship's plutonium power sources will run out at some point this decade. NASA's Voyager 1 is going into deep space on a dangerous and unknown journey. It is the farthest human-made object from Earth. It is about 14.6 billion miles away, and it, along with its sister ship Voyager 2, are the only ones that have made it out of the solar system and into the space between the stars. When you're that far away, anything can go wrong. So when Voyager 1 started sending home weird, garbled nonsense instead of telemetry data in May of this year, NASA engineers could have been forgiven for calling it a day and having a drink to celebrate what may have been the most successful space mission ever. But NASA doesn't work that way. Instead, they started working on a way to find out what was wrong with the record-setting spacecraft and fix it from afar. Now, after about 4 months, they have won. Voyager 1 is back online and talking to Earth perfectly as if nothing happened. In fact, the problem was an easy fix, or at least as easy as anything can be when there is a 22-hour communication delay in each direction and billions of miles of space in between. The 45-year-old spacecraft was flying through space between the stars. It seemed to be working amazingly well and was sending a lot of data back to Earth. But in mid-May, Voyager 1's Attitude, Articulation, and Control System, AACS, which keeps its high-gain antenna pointed at Earth, started sending confusing jumbles of data instead of the usual reports about the spacecraft's health and status. From our point of view, it looked like the spacecraft had developed an electronic version of aphasia, a condition that makes it hard to speak clearly. NASA said at the time that the data may look like it was made at random, or that it doesn't show any possible state the AACS could be in. Even more confusing for engineers was the fact that Voyager 1 seemed to be in great shape despite its strange status reports. The ship's radio signal stayed strong and steady, which meant that the antenna was still pointed at Earth and not in the position that the AACS told NASA it was in. In the same way, Voyager 1's science systems kept gathering and sending data as usual, while the AACS was affected by the same strange things. And whatever was wrong with the AACS didn't set off a fault protection system that puts the spacecraft in safe mode when there's a problem. Engineers at NASA were able to figure out what was wrong, and once they knew what was wrong, they could use a cure. It turned out that the AACS was sending its telemetry data through an onboard computer that had stopped working years ago. The dead computer messed up all the data that was going out. All NASA engineers had to do was tell the AACS to send the data home using the right computer. But there's still a problem. The next step is to figure out why the AACS switched computers in the first place. NASA says that another computer on board may have sent a bad command to the system. Even though they say it's not a big deal for Voyager 1's health right now, the real cause will need to be found and fixed to stop strange things from happening again. Voyager 1 has been traveling through interstellar space, far from the sun's magnetic field, for the past 10 years. The field had shielded the ship from cosmic rays and other forms of radiation from beyond our solar system, just like Earth's magnetic field shields us from high-energy particles and radiation from the sun. Cosmic rays are known to mess up electronics here on Earth. When one of these high-speed, high-energy particles hits a computer chip, it can cause small memory errors to add up over time. It's likely that Voyager 1's onboard computers will have the same problem. In a statement from May, Voyager 1 and 2 project manager Suzanne Dodd said, "A mystery like this is kind of par for the course at this point in the Voyager mission." Both of the spaceships are almost 45 years old, which is a lot older than what the mission planners expected. We also are in space between the stars, which is a lot of radiation and has never been visited by a spacecraft. We'll have to wait and see what new dangers and new things Voyager will find on its next journey. And that's it for this video. Please let us know what you think about it. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel for more updates.